Okay, metalheads, we're back. We've got Andrew and Paul from CONTRIVE, Australian metal band from Melbourne. You guys have been going for a long time now. Yeah,
we've been slugging since 1945.
Yeah, let's talk about the history of the band first. When did it start?
We formed, what, 99?
Yep.
We had a previous band before that with this other guy and that never worked out, so we had 3 or 4 years worth of music and we just scrapped and started from scratch and yeah, just jammed for a good year, just he and I completely rewriting brand new music, and at that point we had a lot of trouble trying to find a bass player. We advertised, you had a few people turn up to auditions but actually not show up, and it got to a point where we had enough songs to do a live gig, so we just did our first live show as a 2-piece, no bass. That was what, October 2000? With Swank and the Super Prize. This is band names we remember, but yeah, I don't know if they're still around. So yeah, we thought, well, you know, let's just get out and play anyway. So that was kind of a bold move, but you know, when you're struggling to find a member to fill in or play for us, we just said, well, fuck it, we've got enough music, and we've kind of always written as a guitar, drums kind of band. I guess, you know, the Eddie and Alex Van Halen kind of approach. You know, it's very same as Diamond Vinny. You know, the brother connection and the instruments.
Sure.
Yeah, exactly, and obviously him on vocals as well. It ended up being quite full, and even when we recorded our first EP, we sort of did some demo tracks, and he did bass on that, and then we managed to get Tim in around 2001 and recorded our finally EP, which was one of those, hence the name being, we're finally actually out there doing something, because, you know, we had a lot of delays over the years, and just been slogging ever since, pretty much, yeah.
Wow, so, you know, the years have gone by, everyone's watched the scene just change, more metal and the different genres and segregation and everything like that. Influencing you throughout the years of your playing, especially now with the new album that's out, is there anything that made you go, alright, on this album we've taken all this in over this time? Is there anything that influenced you to bring out this album? I'll direct this.
All 3 of us just don't really decide, okay, we've been listening to this stuff, we're going to start sort of moulding towards that area. I think it's natural progression from each individual member with what they do. Yeah. Like me as a vocalist from the first EP, there is a bit of singing on there because I thought, I started out yelling because I was in Fracture with Tim as well, another Melbourne band. And I thought, well, I like screamers as well as singers as a listener, that I want to be able to do both of those and not sort of box myself in with being a vocalist that is one particular style, then all of a sudden down the track just jump into something else completely different as well.
Yeah.
I wanted just to grow with that.
Yeah.
Same with guitar playing as well.
Yeah.
Thought of coming up with some good riffs, but then I liked a lot of acoustic type playing as well, clean tone stuff, and then just adding different ideas to whatever Andrew comes up with and Tim. But all 3 of us just open to letting each other come up with different things, and then we just work with it like that. Then we end up coming up with our thing, and we sort of sometimes go, where do we fit in? But it actually feels a lot better now that we don't really fit in, but then it does make it hard with the segregation of the scene and things, because unity is lost. The scene doesn't get any support only from itself, but then I was saying before that it is so segregated with different genres and stuff that we can't just, we've played so many shows with extreme bands and, you know, other bands and power metal bands and things. I just wish it would get back to a point where you could put a bill together like that, and you'll get a lot of people going just to check out each type of band and stuff, you know, but I don't really see that happening anytime soon.
It doesn't happen much anymore.
Too many options. Too many options, too many genres.
But then people complain when they see 5 bands that sound the same. And it's a lose-lose situation. But yeah, we don't get any real support from ARIA or whatever being in metal. You just think that there should be a lot of unity within itself to support. Like, we have done a lot of support, which is really cool, international bands and things. But 90% of those people wouldn't go and see a local show.
Yeah.
You know. Yeah. But then if one person buys an album or buys a shirt, then that to me is work done. It's a bonus, you know. Now there's no Metal for the Brain as well, which to me was becoming bigger each year, and then the pin got pulled there, and there has been the High Voltage gig, which have been really good as well. But it'd be good if there was something like that every 4 to 6 months, at least, that would have all those sorts of things. But like I said, it comes down to organising it, and then Like the High Voltage gig that we did with the Macabre Show and Depression, these sort of bands, that was great.
Yeah.
Because it was all different styles of bands, and that was a really good turnout as well. To keep people interested, it needs to be at the forefront as well.
Yeah.
And, you know, but at the end of the day, it comes down to the tune.
With the record, with Devin Townsend, how did he get involved with all that?
Well, he's been a long-time friend of ours, just through, you know, other means and whatnot, and obviously becoming friends that way. You know, he knew we played in the band, and I think Paul gave him a disc at one show in Italy or whatever.
In Italy, the festival.
And
gave the last album.
Yeah, as friends, he's like, hey man, I really dug the last record. So when we came to finishing this one, it was like at least 4 or 5 years apart from the last one anyway. We certainly took too long to put it out, but we sort of were thinking, you know, who could we, you know, manage? I mean, we did look at a few people in Australia, and nothing against that, but you know, we just thought you want to sort of see someone else outside of this country that you respect and really like what they do, and I just thought, man, we should just hit up Devin if he's got time, because the guy releases 6 records a week, you know. I mean, he's a workhorse and a half, and yeah, so I contacted him and just said, hey man, you know, we've got a new record and we'd love you to, you know, get on board. You know, you see, like the last one, and that was a bonus, and we had to sort of map out a schedule because he was pretty booked up, and said he sort of eased off on doing that because after he quit strapping, he kind of quit music for a while, and wanted to just produce bands, and then he got sick of that. He said he's over it, you know, producing bands as well. But he said he was really into doing mixing stuff, so he said I would be keen. We just got to figure out a schedule for it. So once he had a break in his schedule and our record was done, we probably sat on it for a good 5 or 6 months, and you know, kept it tight-lipped, of course, because you don't want to sort of tell everyone, hey, we got so sold, all of a sudden it falls through. You just, you know, you want to make sure it was 100%. And then yeah, flew across to Vancouver and spent 2 weeks with him in his studio. It was just, you know, because he's one of his best friends, it was just shenanigans. I mean, a lot of people say, oh, what's it like working with Devin? I say, well, it's like hanging out with your mate. Just, you know, hilarity constantly. But he's so focused when it comes to doing what he's doing, and you know, most of the time I just sat on the couch and watched movies, and he was just doing his thing. And then we talk, he'd sort of play me a section he'd done, and you're like, this part, oh, actually that would be really cool. And listening to it, it's like completely happy.
Any shows that you've got lined up that we can announce in the next few months that are coming up? You've got nothing nailed?
Nothing. No, nothing. Nothing. No, a lot of it's because we're all hectic with work and things like that, and trying to suss out, getting some shows that a bit more worthwhile to a certain degree, you know, something that, like I said before, about the whole, if some band asked us to play, it was this all extreme grind, it'd be like, people are like that. A lot of people, 90% of those dudes, don't really give a shit what we're doing. But then again, if one dude does, that's cool. But yeah, just trying to suss out a few different styles and stuff to delve into, because I just feel we've got room to move, you know, to try different things and stuff. And like with the supports we did the Opeth support, we did Devon support, like those guys are actually friends of ours that like what we do, that's why they invite us on the tour. And yeah, just being open to play a lot of different shows, so hopefully that can sort of still happen on the local front as well.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah. Well, thanks for coming in.
Thank you,
mate. Chat. Cheers. Cheers. That's Andrew and Paul from CONTRIVE. Check out their stuff. They've got their MySpace, they've got a Facebook and YouTube channel now, and that's Metal Unleashed.